What's up, guys? We're gonna go ahead and take my man John through a foam rolling complex before you guys move into your exercise. It's important that we do foam rolling. All right, in life, we're super bunched up. We have this nerd neck. We're always at the desk. Our hips are super tight. So this is gonna just bring blood flow and oxygen. It's gonna give your body life, man. And we wanna go ahead and do that. So what we're doing here is we're gonna start with the quadricep when doing a foam rolling complex. We're gonna make sure that John is in a really good position here, okay? We first wanna make sure that John, okay, has his elbows, okay, right by his lats here. He doesn't wanna close in his fist here. He wants to maybe just keep a good posture with his fingers down, palms down, just like so he can push his palms firmly into the ground here. And he's gonna bring his core up. So instead of life, when we have this like hill and lower back, we just wanna make sure that if you're putting on a life jacket at the lake and you gotta suck in the core, that's what I want you guys to imagine you're doing when foam rolling. Yes, when we're foam rolling, we wanna make sure we're practicing these things that aren't gonna translate into life. So his core is gonna be up. He's gonna start using his elbows to drive towards, okay? Pushing his hands away from him and then driving his elbows towards his hip. That's how we're gonna go ahead and roll the quad out. And as soon as he finds a good point of tension when he's doing his quadricep, so that might take him actually bringing his leg over to the right or to the left. It really just depends on where you're tight that day, from leg day the previous week, or just us walking. We're then gonna go ahead and find a good point of tension with the good same cueing here. His shoulders are together, his core is gonna be up, he's super tight. He's gonna drive his heel to his butt and he's gonna breathe, he's gonna exhale. And so it's very important that when we're doing range of motion on a foam roller, we're exhaling. We're bringing his heel to his butt here. He's exhaling through his mouth. He's inhaling through his nose as his toe strikes the ground. Heel comes to the butt. That's how we're gonna really bring extra blood flow, more oxygen to that area to really kind of give that body life. We'll start from the hip. John, after doing about 4 of those pulls, as we'll call them, he'll go ahead and go closer to the knee where a lot of us start to get really tight. And if we have knee pain, then generally that is really kind of coming from a tight quadricep that might be on the lateral or medial side of that kneecap around the patellar tendon. So this is something that we really want to stress. So when John's done those 4, he'll find another point of tension, he'll breathe, and he'll do about 2 just to go ahead and wrap up that quadricep. Again, exhaling through the mouth. All right, that's gonna be the quadricep, okay? And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and bring the foam roller out to a vertical position going into his adductor now. This is gonna be the inside, the groin, which also can pull the knee from a different angle, and that also can be the cause of some of the knee pain. So when thinking about this, John's actually gonna go ahead and take his toe. He's driving his toe into the ground, which actually then gets his hip flexor locked up in this position. So therefore, he's not lopsided here. Again, we don't want that heel in the low back. We want that core up. His shoulder blades are gonna be tight. His elbows and his palms are firmly placed in the ground, so therefore he's just good and construct. And all he's gonna do is, while driving that toe through the ground here, he's gonna go ahead and move, again, just with his elbows side to side here in this pattern. He's getting the groin, and as soon as he finds that point of tension again, what I'm actually gonna ask John to do is I'm gonna go ahead and, drive his knee into the ground while he's bringing his heel toward really more of the distance here. This is the internal rotation of the hip. It is a weird movement, and this is gonna be maybe a little bit more advanced. So if he can't bring that heel and his knee down into this movement, what we'll actually have him do is we'll actually just have him kick his toes out straight, where he's simply just going into a good extension of the knee here, where he then can really release the adductor. Again, we'll move from the groin to the knee when doing this, but that's gonna be the second part of the hip complex. And the last one is probably one of the most important things because it's an underactive muscle, the glute. So what we're gonna go ahead and have John do from here is he's gonna go ahead and go into a side glute position, which is gonna be very impactful for those that have tight hips. We're kind of really on the piriformis, which is gonna be more towards the lower back. So if you were to find your lower back, right to the right here in that glute, you're gonna find a tightness in that glute. So all we're doing with John here, again, he's kind of having a good post here. His posture is up, it's strong, he's not slouching. And if we wanted to make this more advanced, from a basic position, his legs straight, he can figure four. He can figure four, which then is gonna lean towards that glute that has the tension and the tightness. He's gonna be using that foot for him to go back and forth as well as the post, right? He doesn't wanna slouch, his posture's up just like so, where he's really getting a good engagement in the glute. Now to go through a range of motion here, we're actually gonna move him through a hip car. So what we can do from this position is on the tightness of the glute, he can take this figure four off, right? Place his palm down, and we can actually start moving again into those cars that we talk about. So he can go ahead and drive his knee outward and then come around here, open the gate, close the gate, just like so. Or what he can do is he can actually then drive the knee toward the stomach first and go in the opposite direction. So we do want to do both directions here. We can start with the foot coming out to the side. We'll do about 5 of those, and we'll go ahead and use the other direction like so, where he's finishing off the hip car, which is going to complete your hip complex with the foam roller before going into exercise, guys.